Hello, how we doing today? Today I have a pretty interesting concept and a pretty interesting idea on NBA 2K22, and that is what if all of the worst players on each of the teams became stars? So basically, I took the worst or one of the worst players. Sometimes I went like +1 overall up for just a little bit more notoriety. So let's go ahead and go through the rosters. For the 40 overall, some of them I used this auto-generated player. Sometimes for most of them I didn't. It was just this one team that I accidentally did. So for the 76ers, they got Paul Reed. I'm not too aware of who that is, but 73 overall, 2 badges. The Bucks, we got Thanasis Antetokounmpo. Uh, I think the oldest of the Antetokounmpo brothers. 2 badges, 29 years old, 71 overall. And then for the Bulls, we got Ayo Dosunmu. He was a steal in the drafts. I've seen him play pretty good. Um, then for the Cavs, like this is the first example, we got Taco Fall. I chose him over Damian Dotson just because I feel like that would be a little bit more interesting. I feel like some more people could root for Taco than Damian. Celtics, Romeo Langford. Uh, Clippers, Brandon Boston. The Grizzlies, this is another one. This is a guy who actually can probably compete. He has pretty good defense. Jarrett Culver, he's got a decent amount of badges, 72 overall. Atlanta Hawks, Jalen Johnson, just one of the higher overalls that we got. Then for the Heat, Udonis Haslam. He's one of the older ones. He doesn't have much of a shot, but he has a really crazy shot tendency. I believe it's like 90. Yeah, he has a pretty crazy shot tendency for not really having that great of a shot. Alright, the Hornets, JT Thor. The Jazz, Jared Butler. Then the Kings, Shemias Ramsey. Then the Knicks, this is Kevin Knox. Pretty much a bust from where he was drafted. I believe, yeah, 9th overall. So now he gets the chance to actually be good in the NBA. The Lakers, this is one of the teams that this guy, or it was between Ariza and Bazemore, and they're both the same overall. So I just chose Ariza. But this is the worst overall on the team. It just happens to be one of the better ones. Then the Magic, we got Michael Carter Williams. Then we got Bobby because I chose Bobby over. I think it was like a 72. Just because he's the nicest guy in the NBA. I feel like a lot more people could root for him. And he's tall too, 7'4", 5 badges. We'll see how it goes. He plays pretty good defense. It's really crazy board. Okay, scoring. Then the Nets, Sekou Doumbouya. I didn't even know he was on this team, to be honest. But he is. I thought he was on the Pistons, but I guess he's here. So we'll go ahead and let him have this. Then for the Nuggets, Bol Bol. This is the most exciting person I think in this because he can shoot and he has decent defense and he's tall, so he can get boards. So I feel like he can be one of the people that can compete for like an MVP. I feel like he's got all of the attributes just to make him like that. But I mean, it'll be pretty interesting. Then the Pacers have Chris Duarte, their standout rookie from this draft. I mean, he's got the shot. Then the Pelicans, Kira Lewis, he does really good in this game. So it'd be interesting to see if he can perform well. Killian Hayes, Isaac Bonga. He's gone about everywhere, so let's see what he can do on the Raptors. The Rockets, Usman Garuba. I don't know much about him, so we'll see what he can do. Then this is the journeyman of the league, Al-Farouq Aminu. Landry Shamet for the Suns. Jeremiah Robinson Earl. Now I did notice I didn't change contracts, so it's whatever people have. And there was 2 teams that stood out. It was the Thunder, and then I think it was the 76ers just because I imported the players. But I mean, we'll see how it goes. So this team, they could sign someone else and add on to their roster. Now Jake Layman for the Timberwolves. The Trailblazers have Dennis Smith, Gary Payton the second, the standout for this season for the Warriors, just making some pretty big plays when he needs to, just dunking the ball, playing great defense. And then the Wizards, this is the last team. They have KCP, Davis Caldwell-Pope. He is the highest overall in the game out of everybody that's here. And he has the most badges out of anybody. So realistically, you should think that he would be the best, but we have no idea how that'll go. So I'm going to go ahead and start the sim, and I'll get to you I'll get to you at the end of the season. Alright, coming to the end of the season, we get to see the awards about the same time you do. And Thanasis wins the MVP with a 50-50 season. 52 points and 53 rebounds with 3 steals, 2.7 blocks. almost shot 50% from the field, almost 50% from the free throw line. No threes. I don't think he shot any threes. The rookie of the year is Ayo Dosunmu with 35 points, 49 rebounds. He actually shot from three, so he could have some potential, to be honest. Defensive player of the year, Paul Reed. He was going pretty crazy. Most improved also went to him, and then coach of the year went to the Bucks coach. First team, Dennis Smith, Ayo Dosunmu, Thanasis, Paul Reed, and then Bobo got first team. Even though his team didn't really do crazy, I saw he had pretty good stats. Second team, Taco Fall, Garuba, Ariza, Duarte, and KCP. I'm interested in Taco's stats. He did pretty good. Third team, Gary Payton, Michael Carter Williams, Kevin Knox, Jalen Johnson, and Bobby. So the play-in right now, there's Bobo. First is Jamias Ramsey, and then Ariza versus I don't know who's on the who's on the Spurs. Hold on, that's really awkward. The Spurs have Al-Farouq Aminu. That's a shocker. And then over here we have Ayo Dosunmu versus KCP. And then on the Knicks is Kevin Knox versus Jalen Johnson, who I think is the highest overall in the sim. So we're going to go ahead and sim this game. Denver wins. And then Ariza just locks himself into the playoffs. Then we go through this game. Ayo loses and loses out on the chance of the playoffs. And the Hawks, who have Jalen Johnson, they win and they're in now. So now it's KCP on this side versus Kevin Knox. And then on this side, it is Al-Farouq Aminu versus Bobo. So Bobo makes it in. And then on this side, the Wizards make it in. So KCP wins. Alright, we're going to go through round one. We're going to send this first round, see what happens. Now, if you're looking at the right side, Philly and Milwaukee to take care of business. Then we look at the bottom. Houston, who has Garuba, he took out Ariza. And Bobo made it through. So now we have Jeremiah Robinson Earl, Bobo, Garuba, and Gary Payton, actually. That's pretty insane to me. I guess when you average 70 boards a game, can get you through that. Okay, so now we're in this round. Robinson Earl, Bobo, Garuba, and Gary Payton. Then we have Thanasis and Duarte. And then we have Paul Reed. And on the Magic is Michael Carter Williams. So Michael Carter Williams made it through against Taco Fall in 7. Alright, next round. Now Philly and Milwaukee. Oh, Milwaukee isn't taking care of business. Now they do. Gary Payton took out another power forward and Garuba. And then Bobo took out Jeremiah Robinson Earl. So now it is we have one card left in this, and Gary Payton. And then we have Bobo. And then on this side, we have Thanasis versus Paul Reed. So this will be really interesting to see. 76ers win, and Bobo's in it. That's wild. So the Bucks, the MVP, he just got swept. So we got Paul Reed versus Bobo. And Paul Reed takes it in his first year. He averages 43 points a game, 70 boards. That's wild. He dominated. He swept the whole thing. He went 16-0 in the playoffs. But we're going to see you at free agency and see what happens. Okay, so checking in free agency, we're going to see who's in here. Landry Shamet, KCP, Kevin Knox, Ariza, Bobo, Dennis Smith Jr., Thanasis, Michael Carter Williams, Bonga, Al-Farouq Aminu, Gary Payton, Taco Fall, Layman, Udonis Haslam, and that is it. So, we definitely are going to see some people move at the end of the year, so we're going to see who exactly does in player progression. Okay, so we get to check in the rosters here going into year 2. We get to see some people improve, like Kira Lewis, Chris Duarte, Garuba, Jalen Johnson, Gover, Ayo, JT Thor. So, people are getting better, but it's just a few. So as we go into the rosters, we get to see if anybody partnered up or teamed up with anybody else. 76ers, oh my... Oh no! So the reigning champions decided they just wanted to build a god squad. They got KCP, Paul Reed, Michael Carter Williams, and Jake Layman. So that is automatically, they just got 4 people who are better than everybody else in the league. These are the top 30 players. They just decided to get 4 of them. The Bulls, they got a rookie who's slightly better than, I'm not even gonna worry about that. But they got Io, and then they got Gary Payton from the Warriors, who made the conference finals. So I mean, they could make some noise too. But the guard lineup. We'll see how that works. The Hawks get Taco Fall to partner up with Jalen Johnson. So the big men could do something. The Magic got Isaac Bonga and Landry Shamet. I don't think either of these guys run the team before. The Nuggets get Bobo, Thanasis, and Al-Farouq Aminu. I mean, they could do something. I mean, this team made it to the finals last year. So there's a very good chance they could do it again, especially with the team that they got. The Pacers get Trevor Ariza to partner with Duarte. The Rockets got Dennis Smith Jr. to partner with Garuba. Then go into the end of these teams. They do not have anyone. So it'll be a lot more lopsided this season. I feel like I have an idea of who's going to win the title after what I just saw. So we're going to go ahead and see at the end of the season. I think someone who's on the team by themselves is going to win MVP, but the other awards might be interesting, and what happens in the playoffs will be for sure. So coming to the end of the year, this Nuggets team kind of dominated. So it'll be pretty interesting to see what the 76ers team could do as well. The MVP is Jeremiah Robinson Earl, who is on the team by himself. So I was right about my prediction there. Rookie of the year doesn't matter. Sixth man doesn't matter. Defensive player of the year, Usman Garuba on the Houston team. He averaged not crazy defensive stats, so that's really interesting. Jared Butler got most improved, and then Mike Malone is the coach for the Nuggets, won coach of the year. First team, Killian Hayes, Romeo Langford, Jeremy Robinson Earl, Jarrett Culver, Boban. Second team, Chris Duarte, Io DeSumo, JT Thor, Kevin Knox, Bobo. So I was going to say I'm interested to see if anybody who was on like a God squad made it in to a team, and Bobo did. He averaged 28 and 30. So the only thing that went down was his rebounds, and he actually shot better. I guess probably having more people will allow you to get better looks. Third team, Jared Butler, Brandon Boston, who actually has improved a decent amount. Dumbuya, Garuba, and Taco Fall on the Hawks. Going into the playoffs, Sacramento sorry, we'll go down here. LA and Utah. So Butler, they're actually having people. And then up here, Sacramento with Jemias Ramsey and Kira Lewis. You would think for being the best player in the league, you'd struggle a little bit less. The Celtics have Romeo Langford going up against Dumbuya. And then the Knicks have Kevin Knox going up against Killian Hayes. So we're just going to simulate this play-in and see who gets in. Sacramento, Utah, Boston, and Brooklyn make it in. First round, we shouldn't have too many upsets, to be honest. I think Denver, and then I guess Atlanta, Philly, Houston. Okay, Memphis made it in. I don't know who's on Memphis. Just Jarrett Culver. So, I mean, good job making it this far, but I don't think you're making it much farther. Isaac Bonga, Landry Shamet make it through. That could be interesting, but I think this team's just too good. They almost have a whole starting lineup of people. The Bulls have Gary Payton, Io, going up against Jalen Johnson, Taco. I think, and then the Thunder is just Jeremiah Robinson. So he might get smoked too. Chicago. Okay, Houston's wiping the floor with them. Oh, that's an interesting. That one went 7. And the front court beat the back court. So we'll see what happens here. I'm assuming it's gonna be a rematch. And then make it a rematch. Now, you see this front court here going up against the guards. It's everything but center. So the only way that the Nuggets really win this is if they have Bobo go crazy, and he hasn't really been going too crazy. So they have to give him the ball if they ever want a chance to win. They take game 1, game 2, game 3, and game 4 go to the 76ers. And they win in 6 again. Paul Reed is your MVP again. Now, the unrestricted free agents that are interesting in this time, Jemias Ramsey is one, Taco Fall, because these guys are most likely going to come back. There's no way that they don't sign them back. So, we got Jemias Ramsey, Taco Fall, Gary Payton, Thanasis, Michael Carter Williams, Jake Layman, Boban, Al-Farouq Aminu, So I mean, those were teams that they made pretty powerful teams earlier. Um, if they all just go to 1, I mean, they can take down the Sixers dynasty that we got going on. But yeah, let's see what the teams look like after this offseason. Okay, so looking back through the teams, the 76ers, they don't have as good of a team as they did before. I think they lost one person, and they got KCP. The Grizzlies, they try to help out Jarrett Culver. They assign Boban there, Al-Farouq Aminu. So, I mean, they got their own trio going on in the front court. The Magic, though, they have Bonga, Shamit, and Michael Carter Williams. I mean, that's pretty good. They're all in the they're mostly in the backcourt. So this is different from what we've seen previous. The Pacers have Duarte and Doumbia. The Pelicans have Kira Lewis and Thanasis. Whoa, 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 whoa! This Rockets team has Garuba, Jamias Ramsey, Dennis Smith, and Gary Payton. So they might have Gary Payton coming off of the bench. That is insane. That is actually insane. And I think that rounds it out for our players. This will be the last year of our sim. We've got Juggernaut still with the Rockets, the Sixers. The Nuggets with just Bobo did pretty good, but Killian Hayes takes home the MVP on the Detroit Pistons. Oh wait, doesn't matter about this. Defensive player of the year also went to Killian Hayes, who averaged about 3 steals a game. We're gonna go through our play-in here. Not really too crazy. First round, we're not really caring about the beginning rounds. It's just kind of when it gets down to it. So now we have we have the Pacers. So it's Duarte and Doumbia versus the Hawks, who is Johnson Taco. So they took out the 76ers. That's wild. Then over here we have the Rockets, which is actually a God Squad, versus the Nuggets, who is just Bobo. Oh, this is Game 7. We're about to go, and we're gonna watch this game, or we're gonna simcast this game, and if we need to hop in it, then we'll watch it. Okay, so going into this game, the Pacers are killing them, but they have a good second and a bad third. So the Hawks get eliminated, and in this elimination game, Duarte, Doumbia, they ball out. Okay, now the Rockets versus the Pacers. This one should not even be a series, so we'll see what happens here. And the Rockets ended up winning it in 5 with Usman Garuba winning the series. I mean, in conclusion, if you make the bad players good, they get a lot of rebounds. No, I mean, in all seriousness, they just it was pretty interesting to see what some teams could do. Looking back at it, the Nuggets were contenders a decent amount of the time, and so were the Sixers. The Rockets didn't really show up to the end, neither did the Pacers, but the Sixers made a God Squad, then the Nuggets did, and they still got beat. But then the Rockets at the end, that was an insane team. Duarte got points of the game, but nothing really compares to that Thanasis season where he averaged 52 points a game. Duarte got more rebounds than him though. That's kind of insane. There was a consistent average on rebounds. The assists started going up as people had better and better teams. Yeah, points went down as some teams got more stacked, and it got a little bit more competitive. If you take away every other player except for the worst players on the teams, then you get some weird stuff, like a team going 8-2-0, and one team winning 2 out of 3 rings, and God Squad starting to form. That'll do it all for this video. Hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.